under this first worksheet. If product means, let's say I mentioned earlier, I'm selling computer products. So I have laptops, desktop PCs, or I have tablet that I'm selling. I'm selling some hardware components like printers, yeah, webcams, yeah, keyboard, mouse, something like that. So I can list down all the product, and then I can put, like, for example, the price of the product, what brand is that, how many quantity that available, yeah, that I have in stock, something like that. Yeah, so all that will be the uh, data that relevant to your product or to your service. Yeah, it can be also a mobile phone company selling mobile phone, yeah, providing different packages, something like that. Yeah. So now for the details about the product or about the service, the requirement is you must have at least 10 fields and must have at least 50 records. What we mean by at least 10 fields and 50 records, if you look at one of the class activity that we did before, like yeah, I think over here, I just open the one that you did last week. Yeah, you have this worksheet here, and you have category, product, sales, quarter, country, and order type, right? That is what we call as fields. So basically, there are 6 fields that you have here. Yeah, so there must be a proper heading there on each field. All right. So in your assignment, you need to have 10 fields. You cannot just have 6 fields. At least 10 fields. You want to have more also can. Yeah. Okay, so that is number of fields. Yeah, number of fields meaning the columns. All right. Okay, next, for the records, they mentioned that must have at least 50 records. Records is actually referring to, this is one record. The category is drinks, product is lime and ginger tea, sales is this, quarter is quarter one, country is Australia, and order type is online. So this is one record. This is another record. So you can see there are many records that you have inside here. Yeah, there are more than 50 records actually here. See? Okay. See here. This is what we call as records. There are more than 50 records that you have here. Yeah. So that is how you should plan, yeah, to have the data on the, on this part. Yeah. So stand fields at least, and at least 50 records. And the number of fields that you have, right? If let's say you have 10, right? At least 2 of it must be numerical field, meaning number, like this, where you can do calculation, because I cannot do calculation here. Drinks, I cannot do calculation. Product, I cannot do calculation. Yeah, quarter one also I cannot do calculation. So there's only one field that I can do calculation here, that is sales. If I have quantity, then I can do calculation as well. So numeric values must be there. Yeah, then only you can do calculation. All right. Okay, so that is how you should have your data. And after that, there's no decoration required. No decoration means it can be just plain as this, but you need to convert that to a Excel table. Convert to Excel table is something that you learn in your first practical session, where you just have to apply table style. So let's say this is my table. I can just go to format as table, and let's say I select something like this, for example. Yeah, the table style, and it has applied that particular table style. This will do. So this is the meaning of convert your data into a table format. Yeah, very simple one. This one is just a heading. Yeah, like this one is for this company, Star Mart Online. Yeah, so the name of the company, Star Mart. Yeah. Okay, so that is for the first worksheet. Yeah. Second worksheet should be on customers. So if customers, let's say for airline, whoever booked the flight tickets, so you should have their, let's say, their first name, last name, their phone number, email address. Those are all fields. Yeah, you must have at least 10. Yeah, and then followed by at least 50. So similar. Just that one is for the product or service that offered by your company. Another one is related to the customers. Yeah. Again, you no need to do any decoration. You just have to convert that to an Excel table. Yeah. Okay. Third one is sales transaction, meaning you combine the data from here and you combine the data from customer and show transaction that take place. Like for example, hotel. This hotel room, let's say A101, booked by which customer, when they're going to stay, check in, when they're going to check out. Yeah, how much price they're supposed to pay, something like that. So that's what we call a sales transaction. Yeah. So you need to combine some data from here and some data from here to show transaction that have taken place. If a airline, then this particular flight booked by which customer, what is the seat number, yeah, and then what is the amount the customer paid, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So same requirement, you need to convert that into Excel table, but the number of record must be at least 100 records. Like this one, you see, this is 100 records. You actually have more than 100 actually, this record. Yeah, you can repeat, no problem. Yeah, but just that, try to change some other data. Don't repeat everything. Yeah, like for flight, you can have the same flight booked by more than one customer. Right? So the flight number can be the same. First few flight number will be the same. After that, you move to another flight number. Right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that is a sales transaction with 100 records that's required. Yeah, on sales transaction. Okay. And that should be also converted into Excel table. Next one, pivot table. Pivot table, you just learned it last week. You just have to create 5 pivot table based on sales transaction worksheet. So you need to duplicate this data that you have created here and rename that as pivot tables. And then followed by, you need to create 5 pivot tables. Yeah, you need to create 5 pivot tables. At the right side of the sales transaction table, you need to also, produce 5 pivot tables. Yeah, right side of this table. Yeah, but on this worksheet, pivot tables. Yeah, and you also need to write a bit of comments or findings or explanation, yeah, or recommendation for every pivot table. So you have created one table, pivot table, then you have to explain a bit. Yeah, just a bit. Why I say a bit is because it's only between 50 to 60 words only. It's not very long. It's just a short paragraph. Yeah, and you have to place it at the right side of the pivot table. Yeah, so please read the instruction clearly. Okay, then based on these 5 pivot tables that you create, you need to then create 5 pivot charts. And once you have created the pivot charts based on these pivot tables, you need to move that to another worksheet, and that worksheet you will call it as digital dashboard. Yeah, digital dashboard. And you have the explanation what is required for digital dashboard over here. So this one is basically just to have a heading, and then you must, arrange everything properly. Yeah. So that is this worksheet. Yeah, which is taken from here. Yeah. Okay. Next one for invoice. For invoice, you need to create invoice. Examples of invoice you can find in Google, or you can also find it in Excel templates as well. Later, I will show you while we are doing this activity for today. I will then show you on how you can find some existing invoices, and you can try to get some idea from them. Yeah. Okay. Okay. To do the invoice, there are some requirements here. You must have used VLOOKUP. You must have used worksheet protection, and you must also have implemented data validation. All these we have yet to learn. All right. In fact, there are a few other things like advanced filter also not yet, and then scenario manager also not yet. But if you want to wait until we cover this in class, right, it will take long time for you to complete the assignment. So my advice to you is, you just open our practical instruction file, this one, and try to see which lesson is related to all these keywords that mentioned just now. That's why I just close it. The one that mentioned here, like VLOOKUP. When do you learn VLOOKUP? So VLOOKUP is available under here. So it's lesson number 9. Then you can go and check this lesson and try to see how to use VLOOKUP. Yeah. Then they also mention about using scenario manager. Scenario manager is related to lesson number 10. You have to go and read it. Yeah. Follow some instructions from there in order to use it. All right. Because as I said, if you just want to wait until I cover everything, you see this lesson number 10. Lesson number 10 meaning we will only cover this in week 11. Do you have time for you to wait? Yeah, not really. You'll be rushing there. Yeah. So put some effort to go through the lessons in advance. Yeah. To understand the steps required to do to use VLOOKUP or worksheet protection, data validation. Yeah, all those things. Yeah. Okay, so invoice is this, and then the next you have highlight. So for highlight, you have to duplicate sales transaction again. So basically, not everything you need to create new. Some you just have to duplicate, like you have to duplicate this again, sales transaction, and then you rename that as highlight. And over there, you need to do advanced filter using and or conditions. Yeah. And then you also have to write a recommendation between 100 to 120 words. Digital dashboard, as I said, is just to show the charts and arrange the charts properly. And finally, you have projection. Projection is where you will use 3 or more relevant variables, and you have to use a scenario manager. Yeah. Okay, and read all these requirements and do it according to what is required for this worksheet projection. Okay, that's are the requirements for part A. Yeah. Any questions on part A for now? I know you have yet to start. Yeah, maybe you're not very sure yet, but you're doing this in a group. Definitely, you will have friends who have understanding. Yeah, you can discuss, and then maybe your friend has a different understanding. You have a different understanding. Then when you combine work together, you can definitely do the assignment. Yeah. Okay, if no questions, let's move on to part B. For part B, this one I'm not really worried too much. Yeah, the reason is because you just need to prepare between 10 to 15 slides only. Yeah, not many slides, just to explain based on what you have in part A. Yeah, maybe you can give like the introduction, what company is this, and then what is the product. Yeah, and then you show the list of products. Yeah, examples of product. Yeah, and then how many customers do you have? You can put it in your description, and then you can take some data from the pivot table and the pivot chart. You can explain. Yeah, so you can take some data from each of the worksheet that you have. Yeah, then invoice, you want to show how is their invoice. Then you want to use highlight, yeah, detail dashboard, projection, all those things. You just put it into your PowerPoint slide with text, with description. Because for PowerPoint, you must have with description. You cannot just copy and paste, put the graph or the charts or the tables, and then say this is my data. Yeah, we want you to make sure you have uh, some explanation, yeah, on your PowerPoint slides. Okay, so between 10 to 15 slides, let's say for example you prepare 10 slides, and there are 5 members in a group, then each person will take 2 PowerPoint slides to present. Yeah, and the overall duration for presentation for per group is only 10 minutes. That means one person from the group, when you cover 2 PowerPoint slides, you have to finish it in 2 minutes. Only then the other members can do the same thing, and the whole group can finish it in 10 minutes. Yeah. Maximum, if you, let's say, it's taking time, I can wait for 15 minutes. Yeah. So that's the maximum time, but try to follow 10 minutes. Yeah. Quick one, do it properly and you will get out of 15 marks, individual marks. Yeah. I want to see that you're trying to elaborate. Yeah. Pronunciation done correctly. Yeah. All that. So you need to coordinate with your members to make sure that you rehearse first before you can do the actual presentation. Yeah. So that is for part B. Yeah. Okay. And about submission, there are three different files that you'll be submitting on Google Class in your Google Classroom. One will be your Excel file. Next will be PowerPoint slide, and as well as the submission form. Okay, so you have to complete the submission form, fill in all the details, and that is in one file. You already have this in your Google Classroom. Yeah, you have the assignment instructions as well, the question as well as the forms. Yeah. So three files that you will be submitting. Only the group leader will make submission on behalf of each group. Yeah, group one, the group leader will submit. Group two, the group leader will submit. Yeah. Originality check is not required. No printout required. It's all soft copy. Yeah. So submission is week 3, as I mentioned, one day before the presentation. Presentation, and you get your marks in week 14. Week 14 means that is the final week of your study. Yeah. Okay. So that's all from my side to give you overall idea about what you can do for the assignment. Yeah. So for now, I want you to decide with your group members what a business type that you want to select. Yeah, I have given you some examples of business type. You can